And it's important to highlight here, and I know it's a question that comes up sometimes, is how long should I work on a business before giving up and maybe starting something else? How long? To be honest with you, look, I think a year is a good time for you to be able to see some results. But that is dependent, because if you're doing 1 hour a day for a year, that is not comparable to doing 20 hours a week and then say it's different, right? You're putting 300% more effort. And so obviously I would say at least doing 15 hours a week. If you're working a job, you could do 15 hours a week. Don't even pretend to me, okay? Saturdays and Sundays, do 5 hours. If you could do 5 hours, that's 10 hours. Find yourself another 5 hours, man. Come on, like 1 hour a day. You know you can do it, okay? So if you could do 15 hours a week, 15 hours a week of minimum work on your business, I think after a year, you should be able to see some results. And if you're not seeing results after 1 year of actually doing the work, 15 hours. And then, by the way, the things that I'm going to mention in understanding how to bring in the customers and the sales and make the money, you need to understand that part too. Once you understand all of that, 15 hours every single week for a year. I think after a year, you could probably say there is something going wrong. That's where you need to maybe speak to a mentor. You need to speak to someone, have a call with someone. You know what I mean? It's not something I do. By the way, I'm not selling a service here. It's not something I do, but you need advice of someone. Send me DMs. Add me up on Instagram, send me a DM. Usually I'm very good at replying. So I'm happy to give advice for free. That's not a problem. Now, let's say a year in, you do fail. Let's say your business doesn't succeed. Well, how do you deal with failure? Because I would say that dealing with failure is super important in how your future in business looks. If you understand how to deal with failure, it actually can lead you to be one of the most successful people in business, honestly speaking. So, you fail a year in. The worst thing you could do is just say that that was a failure and I learned nothing from it and that's it. Rather, the mindset should be that I did learn something from the year that I worked on this business. I know where I messed up, reflect on it, see what can be improved, and then guess what? That's exactly what you need to start working on. You need to start working again on another business, but take lessons from your failure. Because the one who will be successful is the one that will learn from his mistakes, learn from the lessons, and learn basically. Because that's actually how you're going to get good. And I would say it is better for you to fail 2 or 3 times in business than for you to succeed the first time. Because if you succeed the first time, maybe there are things that, maybe you don't know how to deal with failure. Maybe you don't know how to deal with when things go wrong. And maybe when things go wrong, you learned something and the lesson you learned was much more valuable than obviously, a business just succeeding, right? And so sometimes what ends up happening is people make money in their business, but because they've never understood failure, they've never learned, they've never understood their lessons, actually they are limited in making a certain set amount. But someone who does go through some failure, someone who does learn, someone who understands how they need to deal with when things go wrong, you'll be surprised. That person actually ends up making a lot of money because they understand much more in regards to the business world.